take this moment to pause. Let's check in with our body, noticing how we feel. Feel our breath begin to move the center of our body. Feeling our ribs expand, our belly expand and soften. Creating a smooth, long breath. And lifting our arms up, extend them up to the ceiling. And then we're going to take our right shoulder, lift it up away from the floor as we reach our right hand up. And then bring our right shoulder down. Lift our left shoulder, reach our left hand up, drive our right shoulder into the floor. And bring our left shoulder down, drive our left shoulder, lift our right. Bring our right shoulder down, drive our right shoulder into the floor, begin to drive our right elbow into the floor, then reach our left hand up. Release our left shoulder down, let our left elbow come down, lift our right hand up, and drive our left elbow, left shoulder as we lift our right. And bring it down, switching sides. And bring it down and switch. And bring it down and switch. And down and switch. And down and relax. Let our arms come out. Close our eyes. Then reach our left hand up to the ceiling. Reach it over to the right. Lift our head. Let our shoulder completely come up off the floor. Feeling the left side of our back come up off the floor. And then on our next inhale, reach our left hand up, lower our shoulder down, and open up our arm. Reach our right hand up to the ceiling. Lift our right shoulder and our head. Reach our right hand over to the left. And then take our right hand up, lower our shoulder down, open up our arm. Left hand up, lift our head and shoulder, reach our left hand to the right, and come back up and lower our shoulder down, releasing our arm. Right hand up, right shoulder up, right hand reaches to the left. Bring our right hand back up, right shoulder down, and open. Continue to flow side to side, moving with core stability. Finding connection of breath. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we lift and close. Wrap up both sides. And then we're going to draw our knees into our chest and give them a hug once both sides are evenly balanced. Releasing our feet down to the mat. Open up our arms. Let's walk our feet out a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. And then rock our knees side to side, letting one hip lift up off the mat at a time. Just finding some movement within our hips, creating blood flow. Bringing our knees back to center, walk our feet back to center, and then draw our knees back into our chest. Give them a hug. Holding on to our left leg, let's extend our right leg forward and let it hover above the floor. Then on our next exhale, lift our head, draw our forehead towards our knee. Then slowly switch legs, letting our left leg hover. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And draw both knees in. And lower down. Taking our knees wide, and then bring them forward and back up. Knees in, out wide, forward and up. One more time. Nice big circle. And then when our knees come into our chest, pause and reverse the direction. Taking them forward, out, and back in. And then drawing our knees into our chest, giving them a hug one more time. Lift our feet up to the ceiling, slide our hands around to the back of our legs, lift our hips. Then rock up and don't let our feet touch. Roll back down nice and slow, slide our hands up our legs, pause. And then rock back up, don't let our feet touch. Roll back down, pause, and roll up, pause, rolling back down, pause, and roll up, pause. Continue to flow. Option to make this a little bit harder, taking our knees wide, roll down, keep the legs wide, and then rock up, keeping legs wide. Find one more time. Cross our ankles, sit up tall, hinge forward from our hips, place our hands on the floor, rise up tall through our spine. And then keep reaching forward, rounding and lowering. Rise back up, switch the cross of our legs. Sitting up tall, moving from a flat back, hands come forward. Keep moving forward with that flat back until you can't move anymore. Then round your back and lower down to what feels good for you. Come back up. Let's come to a standing position at the front of our mat. Feet hip width distance apart. On our next inhale, sweep our hands up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Lower all the way down to our bellies. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat, and fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat, and fold. Rise up halfway, and fold. Come all the way up, and chair, sink our hips back. Chest stays up. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Lower down. And cobra, open our heart. Downward facing dog. And walk or hop forward. Folding. Rise up halfway. And fold. Come all the way up. And chair, sink our hips back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Chaturanga, if you know what it is, and it's a part of your practice. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lower our knees down to the mat. Walk our hands underneath our shoulders. Take our right foot out to the side. Point our toes forward. And find cow pose, opening up the front of our body. Rest on the inside of our foot, so the outside of our foot is lifted. Make sure that our left hip is over our left knee. Keep lifting our tailbone up. Keeping our chest open, our belly long. Let's start to sink our hips back towards our left heel, keeping that curve of our low back, and then come back up. And draw our hips back, keeping that cow position within our spine, moving only to our range of motion. Find one more time. Come back up, hike our right hip up, and put our right knee down. We're going to do the same thing other side. So extending our left leg out to the side, toes point forward towards the front of our mat. We're resting on the inside of our foot. The outside of our foot is lifted. Right hip is directly over the top of our knee. And then inhale, open our heart, lengthen across our belly, lift our tailbone up. Let the inside of our left thigh soften. Feel our pelvis gently soften down. Feeling our tailbone lift. On our next inhale, start to sink our hips back, keeping that curve of our low back. And then come back up once you find your full range of motion. Flowing, listening to your hip, your inner thigh, your low back. Just find one more time. And come up. Hike our left hip up to the ceiling. Bend our left knee, lower it down to the mat. Then walk our hands forward, kneeling plank. Curl our toes under, lift our knees, downward facing dog. Walking forward, front of our mat. And fold. Rise up halfway. And fold. Come all the way up. Chair, sinking our hips back. Shoulders relax down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Chaturanga if you choose. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Walk or hop forward. And fold. Rise up halfway. And fold. Come up all the way. And chair. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bring our hands down through heart center. Grab a hold of our blocks, place them at the front of our mat. Level 3, the highest level. Make sure there's enough room for you to stand in between your blocks, even though we're going to be behind them. Then bring our big toes together to touch. So very narrow stance. Then take our right foot, cross it in front of our left, and then put the cross of our legs at our ankles. So pull your knees apart and then squeeze them back together so your knees are side by side. It's okay if we have bent knees and a hinge from our hip. From here, hinge forward, flat back. Lower our hands down to our blocks. And then lift our tailbone up. Round our back as it feels good for us. Keep driving our big toe mound into the mat and lifting our tailbone up. Slowly lift our chest, bend our knees, unwind our legs, and fold. Bend our knees, rise all the way up. Hands come together in front of our heart. Releasing our hands to our side. Walk our feet in together so big toes touch. Cross our left leg in front of our right. Pull our knees apart, moving that cross down to our ankles. Then push our big toe mounds into the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Hinge from your hips. Place your hands on your blocks. Keep your toes light and fold to a place that feels good for you. Feel our tailbone lift up. Focusing a little bit more on that front leg. Really feel that big toe push down. Keeping our hips level. You can bend your knees as much as you need. And bend our knees a lot. Hug our bellies in, round our back, roll up to standing. And unwind our legs. We're going to take our blocks and turn around and face the side of our mat. And then placing our blocks on the floor in front of us. Take a step back so you're in the center of your mat. We're going to walk our feet out wide. Kind of lift our feet up, finding a comfortable distance for our body. Then hinge forward from our hips, flat back, reach the hips back so you're not going forward a lot. Let your knees soften, come down to the floor. You can place your hands on your block at whatever height honors you. Then I want you to press down through the outside of your feet, lift up through the center arches of your feet. Feel your upper leg spiral in. Then lift our tailbone up. From this position, let's fold. Letting our upper body hang, keeping that solid foundation in our lower body. Option to take our hands to our elbows and let our upper body hang, creating a little bit of extension in our spine. A little bit of gravity, stretching. Now, some of you will make it to the floor, some of you won't, but don't get hung up on that. Just think about length through your body. And placing our hands back on our blocks, lift our chest, walk our feet in. So toes, heels, until our feet come together to touch. And then we're going to cross our right ankle in front of our left. Now I want you to keep your hands on your blocks. You're going to start to walk your feet away from each other just to a place that honors you. Then try to drive your big toes down into the floor. Keep your hips level. You should be feeling this to the outside of your hips and the outside of your legs. This is a bit of a tug of war between keeping our hips level and pushing our feet down. Then bend our knees, walk our feet back in, unwind our legs, cross our left leg in front of our right, and start to walk our feet out. Try to keep your toes pointed forward, your legs squeezing together, your hips level, and your big toes pressing down into the floor. And walking our feet back in, unwinding our legs. Let's fold facing the side of our mat. And bending our knees. Let's rise all the way up. Hands come together in front of our heart. We're going to set up for a restorative position of Shavasana today. So let's come to lying down on our mat. We're going to bring our blocks with us. And as we find this lying down position, we're going to keep our knees bent. Blocks are going to come to the each side of our legs. We're going to let the soles of our feet come together and our knees come out wide. Blocks are going to support the outside of our legs. And then come down to elbows, lower onto our back. And then once our spine is in a neutral position, our hips feel supported, our inner thighs get to open. We're going to take our hands, reach them back behind us, feel our shoulder blades pull down our back, and then bend our elbows and grab a hold of our elbows with our opposite hand. Feel our shoulders relax down. We open our inner thighs, the front of our hips. We lengthen across our core. We let our shoulders open. Let our hands relax. Let go of any breathing patterns. Just allow our body to soften. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. We'll slowly slide our elbows to our side, extending our arms out, letting our shoulders rest heavy. Lifting our knees up, placing our feet on the floor, push our blocks off to the side. And let's roll to our right side. And gently pressing ourselves up, finding our way back to a comfortable seat. Rising up tall through our spine. Feel our chest gently soften open. Our core stabilizing us. Crown of our head lifting up. Bring our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found in this brief practice, focusing on hips and shoulders. Namaste.